Hello, this is the 292nd edition of Catch of the Day, available on the Branch Talk YouTube channel. Today we're going to continue reading from a book written by Trent Wildy entitled The King of Crisis in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Starting on page 66, second paragraph. Wake up, brethren, wake up. The enemy is on our track. We must be wide awake, on our guard against him. We must put on the whole armor of God. We must follow the directions given in the spirit of prophecy. We must love and obey the truth for this time. This will save us from accepting strong delusions. God has spoken to us through his word. He has spoken to us through the testimonies to the church and through the books that have helped to make plain our present duty and the position that we should now occupy. The warnings that have been given, line upon line, precept upon precept, should be heeded. If we disregard them, what excuse shall we offer? SPM 324.1. The Pope claims authority over the practice of many who do not recognize Christ as our only authority. He places himself in the position of God, and the weak and uninformed are kept from the knowledge that would reveal to them their privilege as children of God. We are to have no kings, no rulers, no popes among us. It is time for us diligently to heed the messages that have brought us out from the world. SPM 325.1. Great light has been shining forth in Battle Creek. The Lord has presented to me that it was his will that many who had not known me should become acquainted with the messages God has been giving to his people. And then after that meeting, I was instructed that those who attended that meeting would not have any greater evidence of the genuineness of the messages that the Lord gave his humble servant to bear than they had during those meetings. MS 174, 1903.21. Those who did not humble their hearts before God and accept the light given would go into greater darkness, losing their discernment of the true evidence of the truth and the grace and work of God. If they would not accept of the light and turn from their unbelief, the darkness, and correct their wrong course of action, which had been a great injury to the work and cause of God, then greater blindness would come upon them, that greater light would not be recognized as light, and they would not be corrected. They would follow their own course to their own ruin. MS 174, 1903.22. In the work of God, no kingly authority is to be exercised by any human being, or by two or three. The men in positions of trust have not been carrying the work wisely. MS 26, 1903.4. The General Conference has fallen into strange ways, and we have reason to marvel that judgment has not fallen. MS 26, 1903.5. No human, kingly power is to bear rule in any line of God's work. There is but one supreme authority, the authority of God. Those occupying positions of trust are the ones above all others who should render perfect obedience to God. LT 61, 1904.8. The men who have accepted kingly authority need to be converted, for the self-esteem and self-exaltation they have manifested is dishonoring to God. MS 75 1907.6. The men bearing chief responsibility in our conferences must not seek to embrace too much authority. MS 75 1907.7. There were strong men who stood decidedly against the light. The Lord was giving his messenger regarding the work to be done. They were following their own counsel and judgment, and were imperiling the cause of God. LT 178 1909.12. The Lord has wrought in a remarkable manner to uphold the messages sent to correct the strange work that was being done. The evil has been checked, but it has not yet been fully rooted out, and if there were not a continuation of the messages from the Lord to his people, the will and ways of men would yet prevail to bring in strife and contention, and a deformed work would be the result. I was shown that human power is constantly working to weave itself into the work of God. This brings in disjointed and inharmonious action. The messages of pure and unadulterated truth are in danger of being trampled underfoot by self-willed, unconverted men who work to destroy confidence in the warnings that God would speak to the hearts of his people to correct error and to encourage righteousness. LT 178 1909.13. A great many of the difficulties have come in through a misunderstanding on the part of men in official positions concerning their individual responsibility in the matter of controlling and ruling their fellow laborers. Men entrusted with responsibilities have supposed that their official position embraced very much more than was ever thought of by those who placed them in office, and serious difficulties arose as the result. LT 178 1909.14. Position does not give a man kingly authority. The meekness of Christ is a wonderful lesson given to the fallen world. Learning this meekness from the great teacher, the worker will become Christ-like. LT 178 1909.16. For several years, there have been leading men who exercised an authority which they supposed was theirs by virtue of their office, to control the work according to their own disposition and judgment. The work was becoming confused, and the Lord gave me a message regarding the movements that should be made. LT 178 1909.17. Elder Haskell and his wife have been engaged in the work for years, and their faith in the truth and in the testimonies given by the Holy Spirit is strong. They have unitedly served according to the Lord's appointment, and we have sought to sustain them in their work. Conditions in the churches have changed decidedly, but the Lord has shown me that some in responsible positions are not yet converted, and without thorough conversion they cannot conduct the work in right lines. Some who have been reproved and warned are not established and settled and fully yielded to the guiding power of the Holy Spirit. Satan is not yet fully cast out of the minds of some, and it would take very little to produce again the conditions that existed 2 years ago. LT 178 1909.18. Take care.